This is very, 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 very dramatic. We wasn't f***ing with each other. No.
That's not dramatic as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, are you thought we were f***ing with each other?
So what going on, guys?
So what?
It's you really gonna join the choir? It's me, Hailey Leone.
And it's your quiet girl, Jojo Renee. And you are tuned into episode 72 of Bites Bullet Podcast. Should we set the disclaimer?
No.
Okay,
That
welcome
was
back,
not what it was
guys.
for.
Huh?
What is because
Nah, man, we just
this
are
is
in a
this
good
is
mood
just we
today.
in a good mood
We in
today.
a great mood today.
And as you can see, we finally get our coach.
We get our second coach. And we just feel like the setup is set up.
It's set.
Like, can we take a moment to just take this in, guys? You got Saber, you got St. Martin, you got St. Lucia, you got more St.
I
Martin.
should have actually put up a Belize.
Hi, Keto. And then you will see Suriname pop up. We gonna have the whole Caribbean on the wall at
Yeah,
this point.
representing all of you out
Heck
there
yeah.
that are watching.
And if you want like sending art, I mean, just let us know. That would be
Yeah,
lit, guys. You
for
can get featured on the
real.
wall. I think that's beautiful. But yeah, guys, we finally found our set. This is our
I
set,
love it.
and
Like,
this is our studio.
really.
And you know what's crazy? We literally here sitting looking at another studio set. That's how
That's
dynamic
crazy.
the studio is.
That was our dream. That was our goal. And the
Yeah.
fact that we like do it.
We made it.
The other day when we was looking at it, recording it, I was just like,
Yeah.
wow,
We did that.
we really did that
But anyways, we back. It's another Tuesday. We here again.
in full effect.
Yes.
How are ya?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't even think how I was before I came. Like sometimes, you think, how am I?
Mm.
I am good. I'm
Mhm.
great.
Mm.
Let me see. Do I have anything interesting? Not really. Like, I feel like my life has been going steady. So that's lovely. The other day, okay, I feel like I impacted somebody's life a little bit. I was sitting in the waiting room, right? And there was a bunch of people, but like everybody was on their phone. And it was me and an old lady, and we was looking out the window. Guys, everybody started looking out the window.
You and the old lady was looking out the window.
Yeah, but then I don't know if we everybody was just probably wanted
just
to
your
see what was out the
synergy.
window.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know if it felt like we was a bit cohesive,
Like y'all impacted everybody to look outside.
just a little bit. So that felt nice. I've been walking a lot, especially because we have to walk quite a bit to the studio,
Yeah.
which is fine. I mean, we could take a bus, but I rather just walk. It's 15 minutes.
Today I timed it. It was literally like 11, 12 minutes.
I'd just take my time probably. Yeah, but you know what it is? Trains to Central Station from Rotterdam Central, metros to it's long, but also they're not as frequent. Like Den Haag to me is one of the best train stations.
Yeah.
Because they have so many trains that pass through
But
there.
you could go almost you could go almost anywhere. I need to go from HS.
Yeah.
You know, Amsterdam sides, the Rotterdam sides,
Yup.
Breda.
Literally.
You know, you could go anywhere you want from HS. I feel you.
But how you doing?
I good. I mean, they know I have vacation, and then I attempted to bleach my hair myself.
Uh-huh.
But I tell you last episode, my goal is to figure it out myself. Because I
Yeah.
feel like part of it is just learning, forcing myself to deal with my hair.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like before this, when my hair was dying, I was just not dealing with it. I would just slick it into one,
Yeah.
go about my day. But now it's like I forced to learn like what gonna make it work, what gonna make it break, what gonna make it die. And I tried to bleach it and it died. A slow death. Like
R.I.P.
hair fall out. So now it's way shorter, but I feel like as the days go by, I don't know if it's because it's growing out already. I don't know why you think. Oh, you see last week. I don't know if it's because it grew out already. Y'all not see no difference?
Not really.
That's crazy.
As in a difference from the first time you had it?
Okay, no. The first time, no, last week
Yeah.
when we record the little set for,
Yeah.
it was way shorter.
Really?
Yes.
I don't see a difference now.
That's
But now I
crazy.
go and check the recording for last week because maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Or maybe it's just me. And I don't know. Maybe I just find my groove now with it more, with the pixie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the more I do it, the more I get better. So, yeah, but good. And I'm proud of myself for that. Because now I learn that I have to leave my hair grow like a good bit more and cut off the bleach.
So it's like a grow cut.
So you gotta grow it out to the black gotta be what I want it to be.
And the rest you gotta
and then cut off the bleach. But for me, because apparently my hair ain't gonna do well if I bleach it again. Some people, and my problem is I was looking at TikTok, and a lot of those girls that have the hair like this, they just bleach it again, and the hair don't be falling out.
That's interesting.
But I guess everybody has different hair types. So
maybe they use a different bleach.
I buy the same one from this girl that does always watch.
Lord.
But I think, everybody hair porosity different. Everybody hair, so it's just like...
You can't generalize it.
Nah. I don't know what her porosity is. Her hair just way shorter than mine. Actually, people have just like a low cut.
Like a fade.
Almost, and then just almost like white.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could. Mm-hmm. And this, it was so sweet. What? I have this student, those ones that don't really talk?
Yeah.
She just smile.
Yeah.
So then yesterday in class, she and her friend come to me and they was like, "Your friend, come here." And I was like, "Why?" They was like, come here. And then I went by her bag and she made like a little package for me. And then she gave it to me. She was like, "I went Korea and I buy this for you." I was like, for me?
That's sweet. Wait, what? She get like the snacks and thing? Or
no,
what was
she
it?
get like skincare, like Korean skincare. She made like 3 different things and she put it in a little bag and she wrap it and she make like a whole package for me. And then the message was so sweet. I wanted to cry. I was like in front of the class.
What did she tell you?
It's in Dutch, but I'm going to translate. She was like, "A good teacher gives lessons, but a unique teacher inspires." Thank you for your translation is bad.
What she say on the thing?
Thank you for your dedication, your patience, and your motivation. I'll take that with me forever.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
Big up her and big up you.
Yeah, that was really so sweet. Those are the moments I just be like, oh my God.
This is what I do it for.
Yeah, because she don't talk. So I'm doing that to you? I don't know.
You even know because she ain't saying nothing.
No. But yeah, I good.
Okay, well, guys, we switching it up a little bit. We usually do Would You Rathers, but now we're going to do some questions in the beginning of the episode. And in the future, we're going to also apply it to guests and stuff, like just have a random question. But like, we don't know what we're asking each other. Haley going to have her questions, I going to have mine. And we both out of the box, so I'm very curious.
You want to hear my question first?
Yes.
The thing is, my questions is be like, I just be walking on the road and I just ask myself these things and just be like, I wonder if everybody could do that. Because I was thinking of it, I was like, can I really explain my family tree? Like, if you had to sit here and be like, okay, my great-grandfather was from here and his father was from here, and like, can you do that?
My mother could explain you my family tree.
But how far back can you go?
I could go back to my grandparents' parents.
Okay.
So my grandfather's mother was from Madeira.
And this is your mother's side?
Yeah. And my grandfather's father was from Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother's mother, I think, was from Suriname. That I don't know. But anyways, or her mother was from Madeira. I just know kind of that. But yeah, with my father's side, it's more difficult. But my mother did the whole 23andMe, so that's why.
Yeah.
But also, she went into the history archives or the archives of our family to really find out how far back she could go with regards to connecting the dots. But I wouldn't be able to give you like a full. But maybe we should do like a task where we break down. We actually draw out our family tree and see how far we could get.
The funny, my mother's side, my uncle already have this family tree in his house.
Yeah.
And that's what made me think of it. Because like for Christmas, I'm making a vlog, guys. I'm working on it. For my Christmas vlog. And then Jazz was there recording different things in the house. And one of the things he captioned is the family tree.
Okay.
But then I was just there thinking for my father's side, I have no clue. Like I remember a story by one family reunion.
Yeah.
Where like, so my father Belize, his father Belize, his mother Belize. And then the only thing I know is his mother, apparently either her mother or her grandmother come from Barbados. Okay. But like their family was actually from Guyana. I remember my aunt saying that, but I don't know if I dreamed that. You know, I don't know if it's real.
You never know.
But I remember them talking about it, but it wasn't like, it was like a say thing. It wasn't like on, like a fact.
And that's the thing. When my father said, I only know his mother from St. Lucia and his father from Martinique. That's it.
Those islands close.
Huh?
Those islands close.
Yeah.
Yeah. To each
Like
other.
to get to St. Lucia, we had to go through Martinique.
Yeah.
It might be Guadeloupe, but I think it's Martinique.
Yeah. But my mother said, like, I could pull up the family tree for you right now. And then trace back to, like, my grandmother's side. I always say that I figure out now with this video, St. Kitts, yes, but also La Nevis.
Yeah.
And then my grandfather said to my mother's father, St. Martin and St. Kitts.
That's interesting, though. You know what's funny?
I don't have no lake. It's Scott.
You got rivers.
Scott.
But you know what's interesting? I had a friend and they from Africa. So when I talk about like my different families in different countries, they find that so crazy. As in for them, it's like, y'all don't have the same parents. Your parents is not from the same place. I'm like, no. If you look at most Caribbean people, their one parent is from one place, the other parents from the other. Like, but it goes back to the conversation we had with the episode we had like about the history of our islands. Yeah. That we just so mixed. Because I even see on Sabre, even though like you have it often when you have two Saban parents, it's still a case where you have two parents from different.
For sure. And if it's this from the same country, for sure their parents.
Yeah, it's from different.
Definitely not from the same.
It's facts.
What did I say that episode? That like
I think so.
With the one class I had and the girl there was one person in the class who both generations was from St. Martin.
Yeah.
Out of 26 kids.
I don't think you have mentioned that.
No, that like we had this a social studies class and she was explaining when you if you want to look at terms, you only read it from a place when both generations, like your father and your mother, parents from there.
Yeah, your last two generations.
Yes, and only one person was able to raise their hand in the class. Oh. This was like in high school.
That's crazy, but that's common. That's normal. It's not crazy.
Yes. What's your question?
I have a bunch, and you know what it is. I really just
You really sit down. I gonna have to like as I go through my dinner, I'll think of like, oh God, I gonna be home.
Yeah, I sat down. I sat down and I really because I love these things. You know, I love a good question. Okay,
but I don't like that though, because now you're gonna choose your question based on something I asked.
No, I can just choose it based on what I think is great.
Okay.
If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with the extra time? So if you didn't get bags under your eyes, if you didn't get fatigue, if you didn't lose years or whatever off your life, what would you do with the extra time?
The things that I didn't get to do in the day.
I hear it.
Because like sometimes it's like, especially when you have to physically go somewhere to work, you come home or like, I try to go gym. You go gym, you have to cook. Then you're like, oh shit, I have to clean. And then it's like, you have to sometimes choose one or the other a day. Like Monday, you might come home and it's like, okay, today I'm going to have to go gym. Yeah. And then I'm going to have to clean tomorrow. Yeah. Because then it's like, I have to sleep. Like, one thing about me, I prioritize my sleep.
100%.
So it's like, because I always factor that into my day, it's like I always pick in one or the other.
That makes sense.
So I would start there.
Yeah.
But it's night times. I'm going to be home doing some stupidness, learning something, doing the things I wanted to watch, read, whatever. I'm not being outside. Like, I'm not going to be outside. You going to be outside?
Yeah. Wait, you finished with your...
Like, that is how I would tackle my sleep.
I would switch my day. So, and I literally just thought about this all my life. I would get a job or do anything that is job focused at night when everybody's sleeping. As in, like, nobody harassing me. The internet probably booming because nobody on it. And then in the day, I would do all the good shit. So, like I don't know, go for a walk, go to the gym. Those stuff I would do in the day and find another hobby that I could really, like, go, like, sew. I would sew in the day or paint it. Like, I would switch my day.
But I want you to do now.
What?
Go gym, go sew and stuff.
Yeah, but now I could give it more time because I did all the work at night.
Okay. So you mean you do your job at night?
Yeah, anything job or task focus, cleaning at night, anything that's tough at night. Okay. And then maybe not cleaning too much because my neighbor's going to get upset with a vacuum or something, but still they get pech. And then anything that I take joy in, do it in the day. I do enjoy going to the gym. Plus my gym opens at 6. I can't go in the night. So
I get that.
Yeah, I get sharp on that.
Your hair?
What happened? Well,
See,
now you
that
don't.
too. But that's what I mean. Because, like, all those things, like, you don't have to worry about having to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, even that.
Nah, but I would get fat.
How you mean?
Because now you got 24 hours to eat.
Yeah.
Like, that ass. You eat 5 meals a day. Now you eat 10.
But I would think our body, because this is a hypothetical, but then I mean, the biology of humans would change if they don't have to sleep.
But it's only us. This don't apply to everybody. We special.
So our biology would change.
Probably.
Because it's like, yeah, how would your body regenerate?
I think because now we're also up for those other hours that we burn the equivalent calories in the daytime. So like how we're able to maintain our weight, we'll still be able to do that because we do the same things essentially that we would do in waking, because now we're only waking. I really hope that landed. So like, for example, we're awake for like 16 hours of the day, right? In those 16 hours, we eat, but we move, I would hope. And then for the 8 hours, we just sedentary. We sleep in. However, if now we're awake for the 8 hours, we would probably eat 2 extra meals, but we would move still in those 8 hours. So we would still burn calories rather than if we were eating 2 extra meals sleeping.
I hear it.
So we would be fine.
But I do think, I don't remember the biology of it, but our body just use sleep for something.
Yeah, to recuperate, like regenerate your brain cells.
So
and
it's
every,
like how
no,
it
but
would
we
do that.
immune because you don't get fatigue. Your brain cells just regenerate because they just regenerating. So we don't need REM sleep because that recuperation we just have on our regs.
I guess so. And then, yeah, then we wouldn't really have to worry much about having to worry about our weight.
No, can
and
we
stuff
up?
like that, because you're up. But speaking about worrying about your weight.
That was immaculate. Wow. You're moving on to
I'm moving on to America's Next Top Model, the reality check, the series. If you've been living under a rock or don't have Netflix, because that's also one, I would say it started like 2020, but the whole rave of basically holding America's Next Top Model accountable for everything that happened, atrocities that happened during the filming of those seasons,
the seasons, which they called cycles,
all came to light. And it was a thing on TikTok for a good bit. And they finally made a reality series to talk about it and address it.
Yeah.
And I was ready for it.
100%.
I was so ready for it because it was like, I was seeing it all the time. And on the one hand, like, when they was talking about it in the beginning, like when people start watching it, I was like, not America's Next Top Model, because that was my show. But then when you really pull up all the scenes and stuff like that,
then you start to deep shit.
And I was like,
yeah, but it's crazy because, okay, so anybody growing up, especially millennials and whatnot, that was literally the show. Everybody wants to be a model because of that show.
Everybody.
Like in my head, I was like, I could do that. What you telling me?
For sure. It had made me feel I could.
Exactly. But I also think a lot of people keep saying it's the times. And there's certain truth to it. I don't think it justifies things. But I think we didn't think such things were so atrocious, as in we thought it was bad. We knew what we were seeing, but it didn't click. And I also think because we were young, so it's a case of like seeing it now, which is why the outrage started. Like people just rewatched America's Next Top Model, and now we rewatching it from a place of like we knowledgeable about the environment that we live in.
Ignorant.
Exactly. And people are just getting upset, rightfully so. And I don't know, I just feel like with this whole documentary, with regards to Tyra, I do want to hear your take on like how she's approached it.
Okay, wait. Because I want to, let's be positive first. Like what, if you remember watching it, like what was something that you had really loved about it? Because let's be honest, we're going to get into the negativity right now, just now.
We sandwiching it.
But like when I remember a young Haiti watching it, I remember like just seeing her on my TV, one was new.
Yeah.
Like this black woman that was modeling, having her own show.
Yep.
Advocating for advocating
women
for any size, any color. And especially for me, because I talk about being in that ballet scene where I was already so subconscious about my body, and hearing already that narrative of like, to be a dancer, you have to look like this. like, I was like, wow, like, this is innovative, this is new, and that was inspiring to me at the time.
Yeah.
And of course, like, when you're young, it's just like even watching Shrek now. That's such a other comparison.
I love Shrek,
like,
though.
watching things as an older person is like you see it.
different.
But when you're young, you're so ignorant to the BS. So
Yeah.
it's like, I remember watching it feeling inspired. I really
too.
thinking I could be a model because of that show.
Especially for me, coming from Sabre, I was like 1 out of 3 tall girls. no, for real.
I mean, the other one that it is.
Yeah, exactly. She did. And that's the tallest girl from
Yeah.
Sabre. But like height is not something that was very apparent on the island with regards to girls, and just it was tough growing up with that because you stood out like a sore thumb, but you also got bullied for it.
Yeah.
So when America's Next Top Model came on, I also always heard as a kid, like, yeah, you could be a model. So the show kind of reinforced more confidence in my height rather than like putting focus on the insecurity. So it felt good to see because I was also really skinny. Yeah, but yeah, it made me feel empowered in a way that I was like, oh my gosh, that could be me.
Yeah.
But now it's like I've been trying to jog my memory of what I thought because I can't remember everything I thought. But I think because I put it in such a good light that I don't feel like I had much critiques when I was younger. Like I just watched it from a place of like holding that idea of like, oh my gosh, this is giving me confidence.
Yeah.
But not taking into account. I think at some point I was like, I don't really want to be a model anymore because it reached to the point where you would see just the women not so happy or stuff. But it didn't click like that. I think subconsciously it clicked for me. But consciously I was still like, I don't really know if I want to do this, but this is nice.
I think like it's partly you didn't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I do think like y'all got me. Like y'all really got me good. Because I really was like believing everything that was said. But even just the thought of going on America's Next Top Model, I really thought these girls was about to be breakout stars.
Yeah.
Like that's to show you how much we just eat
Angels.
up things. And then I guess that was a reflective of how we feel about the internet now for the next generation. But like that was TV for us.
Yep.
So it's like we was a subject.
But
we were
I
subject to
noticed
that.
TV back then was very different from what it is now. Like when they do say is a thing of the times, it is because you know RuPaul Drag Race, avid watcher.
What that first came out 2009, 2008?
I feel like 1990 or some shit. Okay,
RuPaul Drag Race?
No,
We should
probably
Google that.
2008.
What should
Yeah,
Google?
we got a fact checker.
Because
High key, it was from the quality that came out.
I
but
feel
probably,
like Tyra was first.
Tara was definitely first.
RuPaul came after.
On America's Next Top Model is the reason why TV shows have confessionals.
It's not
2009.
no, there was another show with confessionals first, but it's the first time that they had like archetype people. So you had like the villain, you had like the good girl, you had the girl that just come from a small town and want to make it.
But
Like,
it came out.
But I feel like the confessional types were different. Like I feel like they used to use the confessionals
To feed
to
drama.
produce the show. I feel like
100%.
that was the first, but they had
Because they would feed storylines.
yeah.
As in, even the girls said it on the show. Some models would say the producers would tell them, oh, so and so said so and so about you.
Yes,
What do you feel about that?
exactly.
And then they'd be like, oh, she's a.
And then editing that imperfectly
Yeah.
so that it feeds their storyline of what it wants. I feel like that's what it was good. But I
Yeah.
want to know when RuPaul came out.
Oh, 2009.
So it was
So
2009.
it came out 6
And
years after.
then, yeah. So she was like the first. But I'm watching the documentary. She was inspired by like American Idol
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
but with that, what I'm saying is more, we rewatch the episodes and we see like the first seasons. And you just see a level of ruthlessness and savagery from the judges that you could never see now. As in, that's what I mean, like with a reflection of the times back then. But also, the drag queens would go on the road and do challenges. They don't do that anymore. Like before, they would do stuff with the public and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it would just be a bit raw in that sense. But now it's very different. And
Yeah.
I feel like if we was to like put a bunch of TV shows together and then compare it to like how they are now, you would see a huge contrast with just how things are done.
For sure.
Mm.
But I do think like reality TV in itself is so different now.
Yeah.
But I love reality TV. Like I know a lot of people don't like it. But I saw this TikTok with the other day where a girl was like, you're intelligent you're an intelligent person if you watch reality TV because you study anthropology,
Exactly.
you study sociology.
But it's how you watch it.
I mean,
I
the
feel like
people
you
that
would
really
watch it like that.
analyzing it like
Exact.
that. People that just
Do it
depends
for
what
the
kind of
drama.
reality TV. Because like baddies and them, that's a whole. You could do that too for them, but that's just not
Yeah.
my cup of tea. But anyway, we just like going off track.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was saying? We were talking about something.
I was just saying about the reflection of the times and all of that stuff.
For sure. But I wanted to ask, like, okay, you wanted to hear how I feel
Yeah, I
about
still
her.
waiting on the.
Okay, you know what it is? Looking at it now,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like when I look at her now, I feel like she's a weirdo. Sorry, I feel like
part.
she's such a weirdo. Like I
she
feel
is.
like she's what Nicki Minaj was trying to be when she had her era.
Yeah,
Remember that weird Nicki Minaj era?
Yeah.
That was Tyra. That's who inspired Nicki Minaj.
but even her
Not
smiling
only
a
that,
lot,
but
Trinity,
if
felt
I
awkward.
send you, I have it on my phone. I screenshot it. If I send you a picture of me like this,
you was
that's-
up to no good.
I ain't taking no accountability.
That part.
Because
That
that's
part.
exactly what she was doing. But what I genuinely feel is that, like, I do think, and if you listen back to her at the time, I feel like she had a hard time
Yeah.
not fitting in to the industry, not necessarily the jobs, but the people. So, like, fellow models.
Yep.
And she heavily, like, projected that, and she was unaware of it. Because for
Exactly.
you to, like, want to start a whole show to advocate for certain things and then do the
opposite.
complete opposite
Exactly.
is crazy.
Yeah, because I feel like she had ambition where it was like, yeah, no, I could do this. I could make a change. And then she realized, okay, I'm making somewhat of a change, but I still need to make sure I please these people around me. Like even her, I feel like there was a lot of people in her ear and she allowed them to be in her ear. Like she didn't stand on her own 2 feet.
I actually don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe those people was in her ear at all.
Nah.
I feel like, of course, it was in her ear, but I generally think that, like, when she see her show was getting success,
Yeah.
you notice how, like, you have, to me, it's like the opposite of imposter syndrome. Like
you have pasta syndrome.
that's the thing.
That's not a thing.
What would be the opposite of imposter syndrome? Like, you know, people that so heavily believe in themselves,
Yeah.
and then when that gets fed,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it was. Like, she saw the success of her show and was willing
like
to go to
narcissism.
narcissism
What is
is
it?
more clinical.
Oh, like egotistic.
It's almost like something feeding your success or something. I don't know. But like, I feel like, and then she start feeding off of that and start exploiting these women in the show.
Yeah.
I feel like, and then hearing the other producers and executives come with ideas, she was with it because she wanted her
Yeah.
show
To boom.
to boom. I feel like that's what it was. Because
I understand.
it's almost like the bullied became the bully.
100%.
The
Dunning-Kruger?
Dunning-Kruger? What does it?
No, but Dunning-Kruger is more with intelligence. So you overestimate your intelligence.
Literally, that is it. So
But I feel like for her, she overestimates her value. Nah, with the Dunning-Kruger effect, it's essentially they made Dunning and Kruger made a whole diagram of how they studied people who did exams, and then the people who think they did not so well usually do much better than the people who boast about, oh my gosh, I did so great. Because a lot of people who are not ignorant but not as knowledgeable or versed in certain things, they overestimate their knowledge because they feel like they don't need to learn anything. But then you have people who are more like, oh my gosh, maybe I could learn more about this. They come with humility, which but makes them underestimate their
yeah, but then it's the ego.
performance. Yeah, she's
I
just
feel like
egotistic.
I feel like it gotta have another deeper turn than ego. Cause I
He
just
said the hero complex, which is like you just think you saving the day constantly. It's like, oh my gosh, my success is doing so much for Black people.
yeah, but is it?
Exact off the backs of these women.
Because then no,
essentially.
but then to me then no, because you know you're exploiting these women. So
But
what?
maybe she doesn't. Okay. Bear with me. And this is going to y'all bear with me too. So you know the courage to be disliked, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a part in the book where they say that the meaning of good and evil, the etymology of the word, is derived from good being for the benefit of, evil being not for the benefit of. So if you look at it, when we call people evil and whatnot, we see them from a place of like they're not benefiting us. But they don't see themselves as evil sometimes because they feel like it's for the benefit of, and then fill in the blank. So it's like they're able to justify it. So for her, she probably has the hero complex from a place of like, it is about her. But she could justify it in her head because she's thinking, I'm doing this for women and for Black women. And even though these women are collateral, it's a necessary evil. Like she could be so sick in her head that she could justify the exploitation by not even seeing the exploitation because she thinks it's just or means to an end. That's like the best way I could put it.
I hear it. I just really trying to think on like, okay, because there's certain moments in the show, like
Yeah.
if you watch the reality check show,
Yeah.
there's the most like I can't pronounce that word
Atrocious.
today. Atrocious thing that happened.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you want to get into it right away.
Yeah.
Which is someone being essayed.
Yeah.
And
Shandy.
to one extent, we was unaware, even within that realm of stuff. Like, I wouldn't how to put this.
We weren't unaware. We were more so.
No, but even like after the Me Too movement, before the Me Too movement and stuff, like even what we considered that culture, so whether I want to say grape culture,
Yeah.
we didn't know what I was. So like,
Yeah.
for example, being in a room with somebody and not wanting to do it, but then still ending up doing it.
You don't automatically.
We didn't automatically
No.
connect those things.
No.
So on the one hand, I do get that we was more ignorant back then.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, what would make you think it's okay
Yep.
to come and say, let's come sit by a fire pit?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you about this boyfriend I had that cheated on me in Milan. Oh my God, we in Milan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this girl just was essayed and have a boyfriend, and you can just randomly bring up the topic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why to me it's like there's no way in the pits of hell you think. That's why I don't believe that you really thought that you was being a hero in anybody's story. I feel like you being a hero to your own story. I feel like she's saving herself.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
she doing it to the expense of other people.
But
like,
you
I could
aware
talk
of
about
that.
a Dorito that thinks he's a hero, that really thinks he's a hero, and he's doing it to the expense of other people.
I don't think this person know they're not a hero. That's why I tell you these people know they're not. They know it, because then it's like, could we talk about Shandy?
Yeah.
That was on America's Next Top Model. Fast forward a couple of years, you bring on your talk show.
Yeah. And then
And
you
she
bring it,
tell you, I have not seen this scene.
and I don't
I
want to
don't
see it.
put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you feel about it?
How do you feel about it? Impossible. I don't think you.
But you
think
don't
you
think
see
that because you would never be able to fathom your ability to do that to people and be okay with it and sleep good on a soft pillow. And I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I just put myself in the shoes of these people who are able to justify every. You know, like when you home alone and you hear a noise and you gotta say, "Nah, it's the pipes," just so you don't think it's a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for them, if they do some messed up things, they need to feel like they have a sense of dignity at the end of the day, and they will find a way to justify it. They will say that scene one. I'm the executive producer, but I'm not part of production, so I wasn't a part of it. That's one thing she'll say to justify it.
Mm-hmm.
Two, she'll say along the lines of, yeah, you know, she knew what she was doing. There are so many things that Tyra probably told herself to feed the idea that she did nothing wrong. And that's where it's like, I understand what you mean. Sometimes they maybe could deep that they did some messed up shit. But I think a lot of the times they justify it, which is what lets them continue to do it. Or they just think, I'll get away with it. But the fact that they get away with it, it seems normal because they could get away with it. But this is just my thought process on it.
I think there's people like that for sure. But with her, I think she knew what she was doing.
I think she knew a lot of things that she was doing.
Impossible. The same talk show, years later, you bring Naomi Campbell on your talk show with no audience to address how she used to bully you.
Yeah.
And you start this whole show because you was aware of how you was being bullied and excluded.
Yep.
Like, you know exactly what that is. So then you go and perpetuate it on other women
And it made her
in
feel
front
great.
of the world. I genuinely think you knew what you was doing,
Yeah.
but you slept perfectly at night.
Yes, because she did it.
But
to
she,
feel
I
better
don't think
about
she
herself.
justified it though. I think her justification is
They deserve it. Well, Naomi deserved
I
it.
deserve it. I think she feel like
For the benefit of.
that's what you mean?
Yes.
I thought you mean she thinks she's doing it for the benefit of them.
It's just the benefit of fill in the blank. It could
Okay.
be for the, like, you know, when some evil people or whatever that we think are evil would say, yeah, I'm doing it for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like they could be doing a bunch of atrocious things. They will find a way to say, no, I'm doing this for the greater good because they're finding a way to see it as not evil. Like, I hope in this landing in the sense that, like, their thought process is so different on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are the ones seeing what they're doing. So we see that this is not for the benefit of especially in our perspective. But for them, it's like they will find a benefit for something just to justify it, and it no longer makes them evil in their minds.
And the benefit is hard at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Even
I
at
guess.
the end, when my girl said, you know, this could happen to you too, and she really telling us to
Which
take
part that was?
accountability, the end of the
Oh.
documentary, you gonna put up your mouth after all these things is thrown at you to say, you know, guys, this could happen to you too. And I think we should all take accountability.
Oh, because she was trying to say that we just all be ignorant, and then you realize later on you were saying ignorance,
It's
stupidness.
about you right now, not us.
No, but she did. I listened to the receipts talk about it
Yeah.
and give them the credit, and they was like, they don't feel like she should have been in it. And I was like, I didn't even think of that.
No, because she she's able to now justify everything. Like for her, it's like every time you throw something that people accuse me of, I'm gonna come with a nice PR statement and like make people think otherwise. For me, it's a bit of propaganda where it's like I could understand we could be ignorant. I could understand we make mistakes as people. I do get that, but I feel like owning it looks very different than what this documentary showed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole Shandy thing. When they asked, "Do you want to talk about Shandy?" and she was like, "No." I feel like that was one of the worst
Well,
things.
she
that-
acted like she was thinking about what I was.
yeah,
That's insane.
she was like, "What are you talking
she was
about?"
like, Shandy.
You damn well know what I'm talking about. But for me, it's like those are the things where I'm like, yeah, it wasn't it.
And okay, because one person I was talking to in the beginning, but they had at that point only watched half of episode 1.
Yeah.
And they was like, but on the other end, it's like you sign yourself up for a show, because a lot of people saying that, you know, it was their responsibility to make sure they make it after. And I'm like, on the one hand, you sign yourself up for a show, so
Yeah.
it's like it's not always going to land how you want it to land, and you become some
Exactly.
sex story. So that one I do get,
But
but I don't know.
wait, was the person saying that it's their responsibility? To
I
make
think
sure to
like
make
was
it?
this whole? I don't think they had watched the whole.
Nah, because the girls
series.
said it. Like a lot of the girls didn't get gigs because they were on America's Next Top Model girl, and they were more seen as a reality star or somebody who created drama on TV than an actual model.
But then what do you think of that? Because in my head is like, okay, fair. But on the other hand, I'm like, but then that's where your morals start. Because if you as Tyra Banks know this,
Yeah.
why would you continue the show knowing that these girls ain't gonna make it? And then that's why I'm like, so then what are you doing the show for? Is it then?
Herself.
Yeah, but then it's like, if you really want to make models up to the show, because we really genuinely thought these girls were models.
100%.
So it's like, if that's the story you're telling and that's the story you're selling
yeah.
to get people on it, why are you making the show if you know these girls not going to make it, or it's like a 1 in a million chance that they make
Yeah.
it? So then it's like, what? The show really wasn't about becoming a model.
No. And I think in the beginning it was. I do think in the beginning,
In the beginning
it
it was.
But then it blew up so big that her head got so big that
yeah.
yeah.
But you think it was a responsibility to make sure the girls like made it?
I think they could have set them on a good launch pad. Like if you look at RuPaul's Drag Race, every queen I see in RuPaul's Drag Race has their shows. They have their ability to reach just a group of people that I do feel like the show in itself helps with. And it's not only that, I feel like one, they should have made sure the girls had some form of counseling after, just a bit.
But that wasn't existent back then.
True. But also maybe just something along the lines of putting them up in a place where they could see dreams for themselves from the show. Like the show just sets this thing of like, okay, you could become a model, but now give them just a little launching pad that you could literally duplicate for every girl and let them know the avenues they could take and how to take them.
And you think they should have do that for the ones that didn't win? Because the one that win did get their cover girl cover and the things that they said they was going to win. Because it's like, what?
I think they should have done it for a certain point upwards.
Even for the ones that didn't win.
Exactly, but from the ones that didn't win at a certain point upwards, as in not to
top
come
6.
for because not to come for the rest, but it's more so y'all in a caliber that you could get some things here in New York, and we believe that you could get some things here in New York. You just wasn't able to make it pass on the show. But here's a little. This is a goodbye present.
Yeah.
A booklet of a guide or something like that.
I mean, yeah, I would think that's fair. I think if I want them to actually be successful, that's what I would do.
But they didn't want that because the pictures were not successful pictures.
No, but I also do think the difference with like RuPaul and then is now like people have social media. So it's like you could leave a show and build your entire platform on your
Yeah.
own with social media. And I
Yeah.
think if you know now, it's out 2009 and the
Yeah.
internet, Facebook was popping already around
Exactly.
10 and stuff. Like they had a different space to then become, because I think that's even why like Whitney Harlow
Whitney Harlow,
became
100%.
who she was, because like when she win, we already
But
had
it also
Instagram
had
and stuff
more
like that.
dignity. 'Cause I ain't watched Winnie Harlow season.
Me
A
neither.
lot of people fell off of America's Next Top Model. So I feel like the Winnie Harlows in them, they didn't have to have a bunch of eyes on them. So I don't even know what she do in her season.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
with RuPaul too, is like they keep the dignity of the queens. As in, you don't see what they're doing in the drama. The drama is in the workroom. The drama is when they're
That's
doing their
true.
makeup and they're talking about certain things. But RuPaul is big on advocating for a lot of what drag queens go through, a lot of what queer people go through, and just the whole LGBTQ plus community. So that is a show that advocates. And America's Next Top Model was like, they're going to just destroy,
For
in my
sure.
opinion.
But I mean, more so like the success of the women after, like, or the men on RuPaul's Drag Race, because it's like I feel like they're in different spaces. But I definitely think RuPaul came and was like, I'm gonna show you how to do it.
Exactly.
He
Step
got through
aside.
and did exactly what America's Next Top
He even
Model
had Naomi
should have
Campbell
been
as
doing.
a judge.
Yeah.
Never had Tyra Banks.
No, that says a lot though.
It does. But one thing I could appreciate is the friendship between RuPaul and Michelle Visage. Like, I don't know if y'all, whoever
I
watches,
love their friendship.
bad.
But I think I love drag culture in general, because the fact that they just roast each other like that and talk about each other.
It's so healthy.
Is that the Virgo and the Taurus?
I have no idea.
They they're on Instagram, right? And
One is
all-
bald and one has black hair. It's a
Oh,
woman
are
and a
you
man.
really describing them? Michelle
Visage
guys, I should have told you.
and
This is good one.
RuPaul.
Michelle as
He
the
bald.
ball. And Michelle Visage has a bunch of tits. She do a breast
took out-
reduction. Yeah, she did her,
along, but
yeah.
she's
she did her breast. But I just love her energy. Period.
Yeah. No, but they have
And what's the name of the other person?
RuPaul.
RuPaul.
Oh,
Put some respect on Ruru.
Where is RuPaul? Actually, I wouldn't know. But
RuPaul is tall.
But that apparently wasn't the case with them. Tyra
No.
and the two J's and Nigel Barker.
No. And I ain't gonna lie, she was the issue. Sorry. As in, like, her friends were only valuable to her if they taught her how to walk, if they did her makeup, and if they just contributed to her success.
But listening to the documentary and watching it, they actually did have a friendship though. It's just when they didn't show up, like at the end when he was ready to go.
But I think that's sticky, because it's like your friend is here telling. There's two truths in that. So for the listeners who haven't watched it, let me just give the rundown. Tyra started the show with two of her best friends, the Jays, and essentially they did 8 seasons or 9 seasons, and one of the Jays wanted to leave because he just wasn't with the whole concept anymore. And she just took that. I feel like the two truths is, one, she has her show and she feels like he's a part of it. He's been a part of it. And she's like, how could you leave? 2, he doesn't align with the show anymore. And he's losing his soul during the show. And it's just not for him. Now, in that case, as a friend, you talk to me. I'm telling you that, hey, I don't think I could do this anymore. Like, let me put it in a bite the bullet sense.
I was
right?
about to wait for you to finish to give you an example.
Yeah. So let's say we doing the podcast, but it's going in a direction where like our guests are quite toxic, or like I feel like I need to touch grass more or something, and I'm starting to be like, guys, like I have a different direction I'm going in life, and and then you don't answer me for 3 days, and then you just respond, I'm disappointed. For me, it's like in that moment, I don't feel like I have a friend, but I don't even feel like I have a business partner, because I do feel like in general, you talk about it. Like, okay, can you elaborate? What can we maybe do to make it align with the like, you find ways to just create a space where there's space.
Yeah, I was thinking this up until yesterday. And then I heard him say, but what is it a friend if you send me an email?
As in, he
Because
sent
in
an
this
email.
same scenario,
I know why he
if
sent the email.
let's say I really say, Jody, I want to leave the podcast, I don't think that's a conversation for an email.
No, but think about it. He's in a world that they've seen more toxic things than we have. that's him officially say that's black and white.
But I think if I'm your friend, I would first have the conversation with you in
Yeah.
person and then still send the email if you're in that world or whatever. To read, like, if you're my friend,
I like that you're giving the other
like,
thing,
I
'cause
said,
I
I was
ain't think
thinking, I
about
was
that.
thinking about this, but then they said yesterday, I was like,
Bye.
I didn't even think about that for real. Because for them, it was triggering because that's how the third person had leave.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I didn't even think about, like, if we consider
got you.
each other friends and we have I start this with you, the way you're going to leave us to send me an email.
But you know, okay, so now here's the other side to it.
Yeah.
Maybe he spoke to her about these things, and maybe he was, because he did tell her about the photo shoots. He did tell her about he's feeling like the concepts are a bit harsher on the women and whatnot. So is that a case of maybe he did touch on these things and she just didn't hear it, and he said, look, I'm gonna send an email because this is grounds for me to really send in resignation.
Yeah. And maybe the executives in the CC and stuff.
Exactly.
I don't know. But then that's ways, like, it's hard when you balancing a business with friendship.
It is. I feel like we've had our fair share of that. I think one of the things I appreciate the most is that a lot of people appreciate our chemistry, and I appreciate our chemistry. Like, especially when so guys, Haiti and I have been through some ups and downs, of course.
I was gonna
just
say
as
it's so
any friendship.
dramatic. You should clip that for Instagram.
What?
No.
We've been through the trenches.
No, I was gonna say no. This is very, 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 very dramatic. We wasn't fucking with each other. No,
That's not dramatic as fact.
Yeah,
Like, are you thought we was fucking with each other?
yeah.
Oh shoot, we used the F word.
Yo, okay, we wasn't feeling
It
each other.
wasn't like that. I
No,
wouldn't
but
say
that
it
was just
wasn't-
dramatic for
Yeah.
the clip.
It's more so we created but time. One of my favorite books in the whole wide world, a book I would give to everybody, is The Four Agreements. And it is one of the most important books, in my opinion, just for laws in your life, because it's very straightforward, but it's also so it's so foundational. So let me get into it. Like the first agreement is make sure your word is impeccable, and that just goes in line with whatever you tell yourself, make sure it's on the positive side, because that's where you'll continue to believe, and it'll shape how you see the world. They talk about your inner world and your outer world, and they say essentially you shape your outer world, but when you're born, you have an inner world that is now fully influenced, your outer world is fully influenced by everybody around you because you're a kid. So you're taking in whatever people are like telling you, blah, blah, blah. But as you grow and you're able to think for yourself, you start to create your outer world yourself. And anyways, fast forward, I'm not going to give y'all all the agreements because you need to read the book. But fast forward to agreement 3, they say you need to like, comment, and subscribe. to put because that is so foundational.
That was the best. Everybody in here just like, wow.
Okay, no, let me actually be serious.
Oh my gosh,
So,
that was perfect.
Agreement 3 is don't make assumptions. And what they essentially mean by that is it could apply to anything. It could apply to a tree, a light, but mostly people. Don't make assumptions with people, because you essentially create contracts with people and you define the terms of the contract. And I feel like with our friendship, we define the terms of our contract based on our experience with other people, based on our just experiences growing up, based on energies we felt with each other that we set the title for, or we described, or we defined. Whereas both of us was just in two sinking ships. But like, I don't know. For me, it's something I try to take into account in everything in my life, because I know that a lot of the ways I could view people comes from me feeling like I'm not accepted growing up and whatnot, comes from me feeling like I might be too much, or just those internal voices.
Yeah.
And it's that case of like, I feel like with our friendship, I didn't realize where I was creating that contract or those contracts with you. And that's something where I was like, we just need to talk about it. Like, set everything on the table. Because, guys, I told Haiti many times that I just felt like she didn't like me. but that was a contract that essentially I signed. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of friendships have that where, like, even if I look at the friendship that I had a falling out with, I feel like we built a strong foundation. It was something that we added to each other's lives. But when both of our lives got heavy, we started to project that and create a negative contract with each other. In the sense that, sorry, I keep bringing up contracts.
No, that's keep going, girl.
But in the sense that, I don't know, we just started showing up different and then reinforcing the different, as in, like, you know, when Tyra started doing dumb shit and then she just kept doing more dumb shit. It's like sometimes you have relationships with people or friendships, and like when it starts to go left, it's easier to continue going left than it is to actually go right. And I feel like that happened a lot, where I have a quote that says, you not confronting me or telling me something is you choosing the comfort of avoidance than the security of our friendship. And I feel like that happens a lot, like for everybody. And I think, yeah, I'm done rambling now.
Yeah. Like, shit, that was a beautiful way to put it. I wouldn't even know where to start. I don't know if I would agree that our lives being heavy was projected.
Oh, no. I just use an example of that friendship.
Okay. But like, oh, that was that friendship.
Yeah.
Okay. I think for me, it's like, now I'm talking about me, in the sense of like, I'm the kind of person where, because of everything I've been through and stuff like that, it's not necessarily that I choosing to avoid things. But I was telling my brother this the other day too, because he was like, we also had our thing where in a moment he was like, why is she just not saying what her issue is with me? And I was just like, I'm the kind of person who's like, I really need to sit with my feelings before I talk about it and address things. Rather, it's not avoiding, because I know I'm going to have the conversation. It's not, I'm going to avoid it forever. You have those kind of people. But I'm the kind of person where it's like, I really need to, one, be reflective of like why I feel the way I feel, what my perspective is, why I feel that way. Maybe look at it from different perspectives. Because I think until I really sit with that and process those things like thoroughly is when I could have the conversation. Because I don't feel like feeling something initially and then just like, hey, by the way, of course, like there's still teacup and cup. There's still that. You know what I'm talking about. There's still cup.
Shot glass.
No, cup. We say cup. We say we're going to call it cup.
Cup.
Yes. There's still those moments. But at the same time, like, if it becomes a thing where it's like, okay, now it's ongoing. Because it's like, it was months. It was almost a year.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, before I address this properly, like, I need to properly sit in that. And of course, you have your moments where you could address things earlier. And I think that's where I could have addressed things earlier, too, if I feel in a certain way or whatever. But I just not the type of person to address things all the time. But also, in a way, I think when I really think about it, I think for a long time, I was a person where it's like I used to really be like a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And then I had this shift when I don't know what age, where I was just saying things.
Yeah, your
like,
villain error.
I was just like being very blunt and whatever. And I realized that like when I became that Haiti, it wasn't like I lose a lot of people in that era.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but then at the same time, when you say how you feel, that was always like turned against me to make me
like
the villain.
And
I think that like I developed this
avoidance for it, but not from a place of being avoided.
No, but like, okay, now I have to really think about this now properly before I address things, because apparently, but one is like whenever I do address things and bring up things, I the problem then, because it's like me addressing it is the problem. And then on top of that, if I don't show up properly, I'm also like, it's like people could do stuff. This is my previous side. People could do stuff to you, and it's like they still expect you to show up good, great.
Yeah.
And then if you don't show up with that great energy all the time, you the problem now too. But it's like they're not sitting to think why that could be the case. And I think over the years, I developed this thing of like, bro, I'm going to show up how I feel.
As you should.
Yeah, but I don't make it right all the time. So even going back to what she just says, like she used to think I didn't like us because I used to show up with energy like I don't really feel like talking today. Like that was really just, and which isn't nice either, and I apologize for that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, we had our talk. But it's just like, I know, like that's what I mean. Like I really sit to think about where those things come from.
Yeah.
And understand it. But I don't make it great. And yeah.
But it is a case of like, it's like what I said in a previous episode as well. Like, we all flawed as humans. And I think going into conflict from a place of not making the person a problem, but addressing a problem creates a whole different foundation, or just a whole different field for how we approach problems. Like, what I notice now in my life, and what I really, really try, and I'm going to continue to try to cultivate, is that approach of like, we gonna have this conversation. Just know I still love you no matter what. Because as much, like, we talk about conditional, unconditional love. I think for me, there's conditional love in the sense that you, how do you call it, violate my boundaries too much. We have a problem, and I'm gonna love you from afar because I won't fully put it on you. I'll probably attribute it to like what you've been through or whatever. But then there's that unconditional love of like, I'm feeling this way and you are on the other end of how I'm feeling, but I'm not going to stop loving you in this moment. We're going to talk about the problem and address it from that point of view. Like, the both of us, if we had to put it into like perspective, the poof over there, that's the problem. And we looking at it rather than we looking across each other and addressing a problem. And I feel like I'm trying to do that in my friendships, but I realize that that's something I'm now developing, where I do feel like the fallouts with past friendships, us like really hashing out our friendship, are things that started to create that in me, where it's like, at least for me, and I hope at least for the people around me, it builds that space of knowing that we could mess up and we'll still love each other because we know each other's hearts, in the sense that I know that you messing up is not directly a reflection of like you being a bad person. Like, I wouldn't attribute a moment of you to your character. And I think sometimes, especially now, when we deal with people, is like they could do us bad or something like that, and then we create this contract, or we create this idea of like, oh, I need to watch out for this person. Whereas there's so much nuance into how people do things, good and evil, benefit of, you know? And I don't know. I just think for me with friendships, at least now, especially in the loneliness epidemic, I'm really trying hard to show up as myself, but also show up from a place of like, we're able to build things that we've been conditioned to not even explore. Where it's like, you don't really have it where you have conflict with people, but you come in from a place of like, look, let me start this argument by me telling you I still love you. You know, where it's like, that's hard because you're angry. Like, your emotions are very much there and they're very much valid. But that's where I'm like, we should still be able, and as people in general, not to like be on a whole preaching rant or whatever, to like come together from a place of trying our best to understand each other, even though our emotions are like heightened, or taking the time, like you say, like to just sit down and reflect, but not reflect from a place of further anger in ourselves. More so reflect from a place of like really trying to see the poof from different angles.
I think like we really being honest with y'all, because on the one hand, I've never wanted to address things on the podcast because I don't want people to see things and then always look at it from a lens of, was that a moment? But on the other hand, it's like, this is just really being honest. I think, yes, there's that. But I think if I'm being honest and like how I just see these things sometimes, which we're going to get into just now, is like, I've had a lot of friends. So it's like, and then the comparison of having like friends for years, where it's like when something happens, it's either easier to never, this can sound
like
crazy.
Sweep it on the rug.
You could, but also because you know the person so well, is like, you don't always have to address things. It's almost like family. Like, so my mother could do something right now that's going to annoy me, but I don't have to address every little thing because I know my mother. Or like most of my friends in my life, it's like I know them for 10, 15 years. At the end of the day, like, even though I had known you long enough, we just sit out from the very beginning of this podcast. Like, we start the podcast and our business in the start of our friendship. So then sometimes it's like throughout the years, while of course you're not trying to attach everything to like this person is a certain way, but you also learn in the person. And I think sometimes that's where it went left in the sense of like, of course you want to always think, you should always go into things thinking the best of people, but because you don't know the person fully, that's where sometimes it gets a bit disconnected because it's like, you learn in a person at the same time while trying to think the best of them. And it's like, because we at this point say it went on for a while, and then you start to think. It was more
so like an on and off relationship.
So then it's like, but then even that was a pattern, right? So then it's like, at a certain point, if you have a certain pattern with a friendship or whatever relationship in your life,
Yeah.
that's when you start to feel like, okay, but then do you look at it from the perspective of like, not that I ever thought you was an evil person, but like, do you look
I
at
would
it from
hope
a
not.
no? But do you look at it from a perspective? To me, I always look at things of like, not if people is good or bad, but if like this person matches me,
Yeah, that makes
that's
sense.
why I look at it from. Because that don't mean that like you could be an evil person and you're looking for your evil match in this life. I don't know about other people, but
Yeah.
like that's most of how I look at it. Like, do we align as individuals? Not, and I
Yeah.
think because not everything is you evil, but it's just more so like, are we looking at things from a
I was
different
mad.
perspective?
Yeah.
That's more so how I look at things. Because I've had friendships where it's like, I don't, to this day, anybody that I've fallen out with, I don't think they were evil people. It's just I think sometimes like people look at life or come from life from different angles.
100%.
And you got to ask yourself sometimes, does it align well enough to like continue that friendship
Yeah.
and they didn't always last?
No.
You know what I mean? So, and I think that's where my mindset was,
Yeah.
if to be
I
honest with
understand
you.
that.
Yeah.
I understand that. I feel like
And it's tricky when you also have a business with the person, because it's like,
Exact.
I feel like if I have something with you, we have to align on certain things, because then of course it's just
But as well, I
Not gonna
feel
work.
like it was difficult because you're trying to find so many places to align. Like I kind of have it where I know I not going to align fully with all my friends, but I align in the parts that matter to me at least. And it's like my friends have to have the proper morals and integrity. But it's a case of like, I also think that some of my friends kind of think differently to me, or like I have it with my sister sometimes where it's like we just very different. But I don't know, it makes sense in the place of like we accept each other, but not from a place of like, oh, it's so hard to accept them or anything like that. It's more so, it's just like what you say, you know your mother or you know your brother, so it's like you just know that this person is who they are, but you also find the beauty in who they are. And I think with us it was like we didn't have enough time to build that foundation before now having to try to align in a business. Because I do think with a business, you have different ways of how people go about in their business styles or whatever. And if you operate in a business, it's a case of like, does that match? It's like how people go about conflict resolution. Like, is that compatible? And I think for us, we were like a relationship that jumped in too quick, and we weren't able to build a foundation of compatibility with regards to what works best for each party. Where it's like, I feel like we, especially now, the synergy, great. I just think in the beginning, instead of having those growing pains slowly, where it's like we learning each other, like, hey, I rather work like this, you rather work like that. We were in the water. And we didn't have floaties, and we just there raw dogging the waves. So it's a case of like that, along with, like you say, being fresh in our friendship. I just think it was a lot of foundation that we weren't able to build. However, we did build it in our own way. Because I do feel...
I want you to say how what way.
In what way?
Yeah.
I just feel like we've been able to have waves crash into us and we still come up. Well, with our friendship, and I would say those waves are like emotion in a sense of like, we both have had... Our roller coasters have been very roller coastery, and you have had your internalizations from it, and I've had mine. I know for me, it was just heavy, especially because I went through a phase of losing friends. So you start to think, am I the problem? And for me, it's like, I will always be straight up, and I'm always nip it in the bud person. But like you say, it's like sometimes you really just gotta sit with things and whatnot. And I feel like for us, the two different styles that we've approached it with, we've been able to put like oak wood and like, what's another type of wood? Mahogany together and create something beautiful. Whereas like, even though we different, and even on the pod I say it, I love that we come with different perspectives, because I feel like it makes for such a rich conversation, because no perspective is right or wrong. It's more so all the perspectives matter.
6, 7.
6, 7. Jesus Christ. But no, like for me, it's just it's valid in the sense that even if I say something now that I change my mind about later, it's not per se that I was wrong. It's more so that was my truth at that moment. And it's like, when we think about stuff from that perspective, it's like we're able to see each other for exactly, fully, entirely who we are. And I think for me, that's one thing I just try to achieve with anybody in my life, where it's like, we could get into it later where there's another approach to friendships, but that doesn't apply to our friendship. But I just want to be able to live freely and fully myself and have people in my life that like have the space for that, and vice versa. Like, I want to make space for the people in my life to feel that, because I do feel like less and less we feel in that just as people in general.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like they say that authenticity is the highest frequency, and I just feel like to be able to operate as who you are and to go through life flowing with the rocks and not against them, I just think it's magical. So yeah, I'm gonna stop being corny now.
But I said this in our conversation too, that like it was never who you were as a person.
Yeah.
It's just more so when things happen and then how people deal with that. That's where stuff does
Yeah,
really...
no, that's just general.
No, but also for people to understand that it's never that we had a problem with each other as who we were as people, you know? It's just sometimes things happen. It's like how people deal with it is where it could go a little left and then right again. But we here.
But the thing I was saying that we could probably get into now. I was listening to a podcast. You know the book, the man, Mark Manson? He wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Peep. He has a podcast, really great podcast. They're not sponsoring us, but I do think people should listen to it, where they like go into a deep dive about different things. And one of the episodes was making friends as adults. And it's a 4-hour episode, but it had such great gems. So they just touch on like the different stages of friendships, but they also touch on the different things that could arise in friendships that actually start to make them part and whatnot. And then they also touched on transactional friendships. So essentially they say, and this also comes from philosophy, that you have different forms of transactional friendships. You have the one for fun. So that's like the friend you only have as a friend when you go out. I've had those friends, especially moving to the Netherlands. Yeah, but I was a party animal. So it's like, yeah. And then you have the utility friend. So the friends, like, for example, I would go to TED Talks with, or, you know, we would just share career information. But then you have the all-encompassing friend, who's a friend you could get vulnerable with, a friend that is somebody you would bring into your house and, like, have Christmas dinner with and stuff like that. And they were saying, like, all three are okay to have in your life.
Yeah.
From a place of, like, if you have those friends that you just go on trips with, that's okay as long as both parties know that they're in a transactional friendship. And then if you have like a utility friend, the same thing. And sometimes I feel like we could get into a line of feeling like we're going into transactional friendships. Whereas like you could have a full encompassing friend, but then there could be phases where it's like transactional, where you feel like this engine is running because of this. Not just the engine is just running. Yeah. And it's like on infinite gas. But yeah, it was an interesting podcast.
I heard this theory before, because like the other podcast I listened to, people are sending the dilemmas and people navigating friendship as adults, and it's like, where do you place them? But like, I've known of these things, but for me, it's like, I feel like I have a very different experience with friendships growing up in life. It's like, for me, it's like, making friends as an adult, I haven't had to do much.
Because you already have your friends.
Yeah, but it's also like, I do think you could have the full encompassing friend and that also have levels. Because it's like, it could depend on which country you live in at the time. Because it's easier for me, of course, to pick up the phone and call my friends or be with my friends that live in my country now. Yeah. But when I go back home, it's like nothing changing my friends, but they still a full encompassing friend. And you 100%. Also can't, no, but I mean like within that, you even have, I do think there's levels and just even variations of like, you know, what the different levels could even be. Because you could have the utility friend. Yeah. But it's like one friend. What was the utility friend again?
Like y'all just do stuff that add usefulness. So you talk about the career.
Yeah, and even with that, I think you could even have like levels. But I don't think I even had, I think at this stage, like I have like work friends. My friends may be at work, one or two.
That's utility more so.
But at the same time, we would go to each other's house if we.
Yeah, no, there's definitely levels to it. Yeah, but it's like knowing not where to put people, but understanding how far you maybe could go with people. Because even I have utility friends who I would invite over for dinner, or not really Christmas dinner. Like that's why I emphasize Christmas dinner, because it's like we close, but I feel a full encompassing friend is a family. As in, like, it's that friend that is considered family, but I feel like it's subjective. Like whatever you think the transaction is, because everybody will have a different form of transactional friendship.
Yeah.
Like you'll probably have a transactional friendship where y'all only go to each other for advice, you know, where it's like, oh, I know I could go to this person for advice, and that's still a vulnerable layer of a friendship, but it's transactional in the sense that beyond that, nothing much happens compared to like the full encompassing friendship. And full encompassing doesn't mean like the friendships are constantly in your life.
Yeah.
It just means that you're able to go this far with that friend,
Yeah.
with regards to how raw you could be with that friend, or with regards to how much you could tell that friend. And I think for me, it was like trying to understand that, but also trying to understand that as adults, we lose a lot of friends. Because I know we had a conversation where I would tell you like, I always was like, oh my gosh, I had a bunch of friends at some point, like when I moved here, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, those were proximity friendships, which is
Yeah.
also kind of transactional, where it's like they were from school or my party friends. And it's like, I would always say like, I always wanted that whole girl group chat and thing. I've gotten over that. But sometimes you think as an adult that what applied to you as a teenager should still apply with regards to at least friendships, where I was like, I thought I would need to have a bunch of friends, but I realized that there's quality in a small circle. And I think, of course, you realize that they had that in songs and shit. So you realize that from early on, but you still have those moments where you think, okay, but is quantity a reflection of you as a person? Yeah.
So funny enough, this week my mother sent me a picture where she sent, where it's literally like, as you get older, you realize the quality is better than quantity. But I'm like, woman, like you was an example growing up of having so much friends. Like my mother have so much friends, and I think she could place them in these different categories.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like, I think that's where my things stem from. I never saw it as like I have to have a lot of friends. I just think naturally that's just how
But you
life
already
went.
had them, Sakmar.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I used to go out my way to make friends though. I feel like my mindset was never like, I need to make 10 friends this year or whatever. But like, that's why for me, I get it. Whereas like quality is definitely more better than quantity. But at the same time, I do think there is a world that could exist where quality and quantity could exist together.
100%.
Because it's like, I've been even thinking, sitting on here listening now, where it's like, I think I just go into all my friendships hoping that they become full incompetent. What do you say?
Encompassing.
Full incompetent. Like, more, if I'm calling a person a friend, of course, like, because at the end of the day, if I having Christmas dinner at my house and I call you my friend, I would invite you to my house for Christmas. But I don't ever go into friendships thinking like, this person, of course that happens naturally. You don't think, I'm going to just use this person. Yeah, but I've never had that. So I'm here sitting thinking like, no, like anybody that would actually call a friend, of course, depends on what phase. Because if I just start talking to somebody a lot, they're still my friend, but maybe in 2 years, they would become a more full encompassing friend. But because it's like I could meet somebody last year and to this point, we still talk and we still cool. But we ain't reached that level yet of like full encompassing. You get what I mean?
That makes sense. Like most of the friends I had as like the fun friends, they're not my friends anymore. So
I never had experienced that. So I just sitting on like, did I have people where it was really just for fun?
I did, but they were, because we really enjoyed time together, but it didn't go beyond that, and that was okay. Whereas like we would hit each other up, like we would check on each other, but it wasn't that friendship that I know today that I experience with most of my friendships now. Whereas like, you kind of, even with school, the friends I had in school were full encompassing at the time, but you start to see that it also is a matter of proximity, whereas that you constantly see each other. So that full encompassing kind of dissolves. So it's just, I guess how everybody wants to put categories and boxes on things.
I guess it's also what you call a friend. Because at the end of the day, like, I would say, maybe this is Caribbean, I say me and this person cool, but I would never call you my friend. So it's like, I cool with that person. I think until I call you the word friend,
it's a different story.
It's a different story.
Yeah, I feel like in those moments, I was friends with them. Like I would fully say I was friends with them, especially in school and stuff. And I wouldn't say we're not friends now. I would just say they're not really in my life like that. And it doesn't make their friendship any less meaningful.
No.
It was more so the time. Like,
Yeah.
it was really
yeah.
just the phase
I
of
think
it.
we all had classmates when you come up here that you because you see them every day and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You easy, yeah. Of course, you have that in high school for sure,
Yeah.
but
And
I
they're not
wouldn't
gonna-
consider them friends today.
No, they just like, they used to be friends.
But I also don't consider a lot. This is so funny because maybe they might see this, but like my first boyfriend, I was like 15, and it
Yeah.
had lasted a month. So recently, when I was there, and I was chilling with them because I would say that my friend. We
Yeah.
was chilling, and then after they was like, "Yeah, I remember we was together." I was like, "You consider us together?" I was like, "We was together from." I was like,
Yeah, that don't
I
count.
never count this relationship."
Nah.
And then they was like, "I know."
Yeah.
Like in my head, anything before I leave, anything before I come to this country.
Yeah, don't count.
Not that it don't count, but like let's say like we're not in each other's life to this day.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts.
Okay.
Cause to me, like people I met in high school be so cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we was friends.
No, that makes it. There's a difference
Yeah.
between cool and friends.
No, but I mean like back then you would consider me a friend. But now that I get old, I was like, that wasn't a friend. So I also look at it from the perspective of like in the moment you think
Yeah.
is your friend. But
Yeah.
in hindsight, that wasn't. Cause it's like if I only see you and talk to you in class, is that a friend?
It's transactional. It's a
Yeah.
transactional friend.
But I
it's
didn't
still a
even
friend.
have that up here in Holland. I tell her I didn't have friends
Yeah.
in
In Groningen, in G-Town.
No, I had people I was cool with.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear it.
But I don't know. But I also, to me, when I hear the thing with quality, like I get it. But I also,
And it's not quality over. Yeah. It's
It-
more
the
so
people
I
that's-
just
yeah.
appreciate the quality. And it's not per se that it's over quantity. It's just I don't
but I
care
want
for
people
quantity.
to say that though.
No, yeah, but we talking about like our perspective from a place of like, for me, I know I have, if I had, so I was thinking, if I had to have like a wedding and I had to invite people, I know I could invite a lot of people. So I do feel like acquaintance wise, I do have like people, zeg maar. But qua friendships, it was just that case of me thinking the close people that I value and I cherish is like, I wanted to build that, but I felt like love her to pieces. My sister was really the full encompassing of that. And like when the whole falling off thing happened, that's where I was like, now building friendships again, I realized that when I had that whole thing of like wanting to have more friends, that didn't matter as much now as realizing that the friends that I do have, the quality in it it feeds me and I'm full. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. Where I thought more people had to feed me. I thought I had to have at least 6 side dishes.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I also think full encompassant. You could be full encompassant. But okay, but is that a real term? Because I could have a friend now.
It's subjective.
No, but I'm wondering if you look at what the theory says, if that means that, let's say I would go to this friend for relationship advice, but I would not go to them for like, I don't know, financial advice.
Still could be full encompassing.
Yeah, okay.
Because you go into them from a place of just you creating that space to be vulnerable for
Yeah.
one, but you allowing them to show up for you
Yeah.
in a way that's beyond like, oh, we go and have fun and I'm not gonna talk to you anymore.
No.
You know?
No,
So yeah. But I do think there's levels to it. But I do think check out. I'm gonna send y'all the link to the podcast because
I think I heard about it.
Yeah, it is quite
But
interesting.
I don't know. I just, but at the same time, like when I remember I used to hear when people used to tell me that they used to sit out with like a this. I was like, why
Wow.
you have so much friends? And that's why like growing up, I had this complex of like, I the problem for having so
No.
much friends. That's
But
why I
I
say when
also-
people say quality over quantity, some people also use it as a dig.
Yeah.
As in like you have a bunch of subjective and superficial friendships in your life.
Yeah.
Whereas like you don't know the type of friendships I have in my life too.
But I also think the Caribbean is very unique in that sense.
In
Like
how way?
I don't know. I feel like it's more normalized in the Caribbean. Like, like you have that one mother that everybody would show up to the house and she always cooking for the, like she
Yeah.
could, like in our culture especially, it was very normalized to have that thing of like a bunch of friends around each other and like after school they go and play. Here they do that kind of, but I feel like it's very different and it's very stick to the clique. Like
For sure.
yeah, with the Caribbean is more community based, and I feel like that's where what I experience is what I experienced because it was different for me. Like I didn't have that thing of like, having a bunch of friends and like we all just
But I think a lot of people experience that in the Caribbean.
No,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like you get the different spectrums, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make one attribute to whether you is like you having superficial or non-superficial. I just do think with that phrase, people don't understand that in the Caribbean, you could really grow up with a lot of friends.
For sure. And people sometimes, my experience with people used to weaponize it.
Yeah.
I can't me. But
Lord.
yeah.
Well, sleep weaponizing me. So, is
Oh,
that
like
all?
Oh.
Song of the week.
Oh my God, we're only saying that now. I realized we wasn't recording when Thames dropped her album. So I'm going to put that whole album would go on the playlist, to be honest. But I was going to put my Thames song because I feel like Thames deserve a shout out. But I forget the name. Because of course they have Big Daddy, but not that one.
Mine is Nights in the Sun from Odile featuring Wizkid.
I
really like that song.
I'm going to put What You Need from Thames.
Okay. And what you need to do is like, comment, and subscribe. And thank y'all for tuning into this vulnerable, very America's Next Top Model,
very
unpacking
reality TV,
great episode.
and our friendship.
Yeah. We hope y'all, we hope maybe having this conversation could urge y'all to maybe confront any friends that you probably having things with, or maybe reflect.
You see, like confront people say confront sounds negative, but it's not.
No, like you could confront yourself, and it doesn't have to be negative. It's essentially you just looking in the mirror from a place of like what I said. You look with love. Like I think it's easy to confront things from rage because it's easier to channel the emotion of rage than understanding, because understanding means you actually have to explore nuance. But I just feel like.
But to me, confrontation, stop looking at the word confrontation as negative.
Yeah.
It just means that you confronting something, but that could also be positive.
Yeah, change your relationship with it.
It says something about you if it becomes negative.
Tell them. Word.
But that was it for today, guys.
That was it. Hope y'all enjoy your beautiful day.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. To see more of our behind the scenes conversations, check out our bonus episodes over on Patreon. Details in the description below.